Let's get to the auto industry. In the last hour, the UAW expanding its strike to GM's largest plant in Arlington, Texas. That comes after the automaker beat expectations for Q3, but they did pull the full-year guide due to the ongoing impact of the strike. Strike's costing the automaker about $200 million a week in lost vehicle production. We're going to get more details on the impact Thursday when we get Ford. Joining us to break it all down, CNBC contributor, former Ford CEO Mark Fields is with us. Mark, this latest ramp-up in Arlington, I just wonder whether or not the hopes of a tentative at GM last week were foolish.
Well, Carl, I think what we're seeing now is we're probably closer to the end of negotiations than the end of the beginning. And the reason for that is, you saw that, the UAW has now struck the three most profitable plants literally in each of the Detroit three automakers, right? With Ford with Kentucky Truck. And then obviously a few days ago, what they struck in terms of Stellantis and their pickup truck plant. And now, obviously, as you just mentioned, Arlington. And I think that's going to be important because the UAW needs to be able to go back to their rank and file with whatever tentative agreement they end up with and saying, hey, listen, we gave the maximum pain with the exception of shutting down the entire automotive industry on these plants. And here's what we're able to get. So I think it's going to be interesting over the next week or two to see where we end up. But as you know, Carl, strikes are not like fine wine. They don't get better with age, right? They're not good for the automakers, right? Not only do they get a financial hit, but, we're in the time period where production of things like four-wheel drive vehicles for the winter, which carry better margins, are important, and they're not producing. And then, the worker on the line who's been out for 6 weeks, they're getting $500 a week. And, with this unprecedented level of transparency of the proposals on the table, you're going to start them getting antsy saying, hey, let's take this. It looks pretty good.
Right. So you're sort of getting to an ongoing thesis that's been out there, and that is that Fain, the UAW chief, is going to try to do what he can to get the pound of flesh, so to speak, to demonstrate to his members that they got the most that they could.
Yeah, I think he was waiting for the earnings to come out because, as you saw from GM today, the earnings was pretty good. It was down slightly from last year, but demand is still pretty healthy. And I think he's looking for that one last, if you will, cudgel to be able to use against the automakers to say, look, they're profitable. But at the same time, it's about time to cut a deal. But I think a lot of this comes down to some of the non-wage demands. And I think the key comes down to this demand from the UAW to want to organize the future EV plants or the joint ventures that are either set up or being set up by the automakers. And that's a non-starter for the automakers because they're very cognizant of what it takes to compete, not only against the non-union imports like the Toyotas and the Nissans of the world, but the Teslas and the other EV startups.
On that note about competing, especially with the non-unions like Tesla, which they want to catch up to, do you think this affects their ambitious plans to spend, I think, $35 billion is what they previously committed to building EVs? Does it affect the timeline and the pace of innovation we'll see at GM?
Well, Sarah, I don't think it impacts their longer-term view that, listen, the industry is going to transition in these propulsion systems from ICE to EVs. But to your point, I think it absolutely adjusts their timeline. And you're seeing that, right? You saw Ford push back some of their timeline for not only their objectives for how many vehicles they want to be able to produce by, X date, but also the plants that are being built. You saw today from GM, they're pushing out their goal in terms of the number of units that they wanted to produce by mid next year. Interestingly, they're all posing that in terms of capacity, not in terms of sales. And, you're basically seeing EV adoption slow down because now you're really getting to the hard part of EV adoption, which is convincing the mass market to be able to buy these vehicles versus the early adopters who were, I won't say it was easy, but it was easier than where they're at now.
Right. And we've talked about the sticker shock element as a headwind to adoption. I'm not clear, though, if you're cutting capacity, does that mean prices hold in? I mean, where are we going to make progress to getting that magic $25,000 EV?
Well, you're seeing Tesla take the lead on this, right? The average price of a Tesla across their whole model lineup is down about 20% from the first of the year. And that, Musk has been very clear. He's like, listen, I'm going to go for volume over margin. And I think his calculus is like, it's a little bit of a land grab right now. And I'm going to cement the position of Tesla in the marketplace before the established OEMs really ramp up for their vehicles. But, I think part of pushing out the automakers, pushing out some of their capacity and their plans is along the lines of what you just mentioned, Carl, which is, listen, if we have less capacity, that'll put less pressure on price. But make no mistake about it, versus a year ago, getting the profitability in EVs for the entire industry is harder now, given what's happened with pricing led by Tesla.
For sure. The white rabbit, as Morgan Stanley calls him, that everyone's chasing. Mark, we'll see where things go from here. Talk soon, I hope. Mark Fields.